Wanted to show today that your Glock 21 chambered in 45 ACP may be converted to 10 millimeter as well as 40 Smith & Wesson with just a couple of part changes. The extra parts that you'll need will be a 10 millimeter barrel. Now you don't need a specific Glock 21 to 10 millimeter conversion. You can use an aftermarket barrel for the Glock 20. I went with the Alpha Wolf, Lone Wolf Alpha Wolf barrel. Reason I did so is I just like their barrels. Also, this one's threaded, so if I ever wanted to put anything on the end, I can do that. You'll also need a 10 millimeter extractor. I got this off Midway. You can get this off Midway for 15-20 bucks. You mainly want that so that way it'll feed reliably. And all you got to do. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, I also got a heavier recoil spring. So the standard recoil spring for the Glock 21, I believe, is 17 pounds. I got this one for 20 bucks. It's a 20-pound recoil spring. Some people go to like 22 pound. I just stuck with 20 because I also plan on shooting a lot of 40 Smith & Wesson out of it. Don't want anything too heavy. So the main thing will be to get out your extractor here. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you real quick. You get a little flathead and you put down pressure right here on your little firing pin. Put down pressure on there so that way you can get this back plate off. It might be a little bit tougher for you to do if it's your first time doing it, but you do it enough, it'll loosen up. Take out this little plunger here. Take out your firing pin. And then this little button right here, you'll depress that down and your extractor will just pop right out. Take your 10 millimeter extractor, place them in there the correct way. And then once he's in, you just reassemble your slide, put the firing pin back in, put your plunger back in. And what you'll want to do to get this back plate back on, you're going to want to put pressure onto these because these are kind of spring loaded. So you want to put pressure on it with your thumb, or even the flathead might be a little bit easier, and just slide it back on. Forgot to mention, whenever you're taking this off, you'll want to have your thumb over it. Otherwise, these parts may go shooting out at you and you don't want that. But once you get it put back in just like that, you will take your 10 millimeter barrel. Oh, and actually let me show you. So I got some Underwood 10 mil right here. Of course, it'll seat in just fine for the 10 mil, but if you get a 40 standard 180 grain, you'll notice it seats all the way in there flush. Now that's okay because the extractor will kind of also help hold it in place how it should. And it kind of gets into the realm of shooting 38 special out of 357 as long as you just clean this ramp and the chamber inside of there nice and good. You will be able to reliably shoot 40 out of your 10 mil. You know, I don't necessarily say shoot 1,000 rounds through it, you know, right away. Like I just shot, I don't know, maybe 50 and then some 10 mil, worked out just fine, give it a good clean. So you put that back in. And then you just put your Glock back together. So you got that right there. And if we were to take our magazine, so I got some 40 in here, you'll see it will close just fine. Take out the magazine, you'll see that it will extract. So that kind of extracted out the bottom. Whenever I shoot this, I haven't had any issues with like failure to ejects, failure to feeds. I noticed that with heavy recoil, or like with the recoil of the bullet, it will extract the rounds out just fine. Like if I keep the magazine in, and if I rack it back fast enough, it'll shoot them out just fine. But see, if I put my 10 mil in here, 10 mil. Of course, chamber is just fine. And that ejected out the bottom as well. But like I said, I haven't had any issues with ejection or failure to feed anything. I had it run flawlessly. So yeah, that's the easiest way to convert your Glock 21, normally in 45, into 10 mil or 40.